Hey guys, how are you all doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am indeed Omega Luke, your favourite podcaster's favourite podcast, and today I'm going to take you on a little journey with us. That is right, I'm going to be joined with the very first finalist of the Fantasy Booking League, Mason Adams, The Rock, Cry Guy, Nev, and the Mark with the Mouth, MAFF. We're going to go to Bristol, UK, which is about a 2-hour journey, and we're going to watch Fight Forever Pro Wrestling. We have VIP tickets, so we get to meet and greet some of the wrestlers such as Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Conrad Thompson and Bruce Pritchard are also going to be there. There is plenty of wrestlers to meet as well. So we're going to be answering some of your questions that you sent in. Thank you very much for everyone who sent in the questions. Hopefully we can get through all of them in the journey. We're going to attempt to answer them all. So each one of us will answer your questions, not just myself, so you get to know the guys a little bit better as well. And we aren't just going to stop there. We might have a little bit of a sing-song as well. Who knows? A little bit of CarPool Karaoke. So I hope you enjoy this, definitely, because we definitely will enjoy doing it. And if you do enjoy it and it goes down well, there may be plenty more in the future. Quick answer to one of the questions already. Yes, Wilfred, I am indeed a vibrator guy. You know that. And I know that you are too. So that is one question out the way already. Okay, let's get going. The guys are on their way to pick me up. I'm pretty much spruced up. I've got my change of clothes with me because I get all hot and sweaty. Let's get going. Bop!
Here's the boys, that. Math needs to get out the front. Get in the back, lad, or what?
Mate, we gotta grab Nev anyway.
Oh, you bunch of...
They gotta explain themselves. You're going the rock, eh? Roman! Hello, dude! Hello, mate!
Math. How fuming are we with that?
Mate, such a disappointment.
Nev, what top you got on, mate? Shock.
Texas American football team.
Liar. Right guys, my first question that I'm going to answer today is to create a five-a-side football team, soccer team, not American football, with wrestlers. And I'm going to start off in goal. I'm going with the biggest bloke ever. It's Bad Luck Fale. Defence, I'm going with Minoru Suzuki because no one really wants to go past Minoru Suzuki. Midfield, I'm going for two of the best technical wrestlers in the world in Zack Sabre Jr. and AJ Styles. And of course, the striker has got to be the apex predator, Randy Orton. Mate, who do you have in your five-a-side football team, mate?
So, starting in goal, Drew McIntyre. Up the back, I've got the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Midfield, Rusev. And up front, Finn Balor, European.
Naughty.
My five-side team would be Pac in goal, Sheamus and Barrett in defence, Rusev in midfield, and Fabio Eigner up top.
In goal, I would have Hugo Knox, who actually was a professional goalkeeper. Centre backs, I would have Rusev and the Ultimate Warrior. Midfield, I'm going for Will Ospreay, and up top, I've got Kenny Omega.
Say left, yeah? Turn left on the portway. Left.
Piss myself. It's fucking recorded.
Okay, so the next question is name one male and one female wrestler to be the president / prime minister to basically run the country. So for male, I am going to go with the one and only, the GOAT of wrestling, Chris Jericho. And for female, I don't think there's anyone else that you can pick other than Becky Lynch, the man.
You are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way.
So
So, Mace, who you having as your Prime Minister, male and female, mate?
I'm having a president. It's the game, Triple H. And I'm going for a female Prime Minister. The Queen, the Bullet Queen, Cody Rhodes.
Ooh, meeting her today.
Okay, so one wrestler to be president. I'm going to have to actually go with The Rock, because he's potentially going to be president one day anyway. For my female, I'm going to go for Paige as Prime Minister, just because, you know, she runs SmackDown Live quality and it's something nice to stare at.
So my president would be Jessie the Body Ventura, and my female Prime Minister would be Charlotte Flair.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Finally. What wrestler would be best suited for the job you currently do in real life? I just started a new job where I fit broadband, television and phones into people's houses, and I have to basically upsell them as well. I think the wrestler that would be best suited for this job would be awesome, would be The Miz. Mace, wrestler to suit the job you do right now, who would it be?
So, I'm an assistant manager at a supermarket, and I feel my place needs shaking up. So I'm going to have Baron Corbin, because I think he's doing a stellar job.
I agree.
I work in a school, so I'm going to pick another man with a fantastic beard. I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan.
I work in a warehouse, so I think the person who best suited for my job role would have to be quite strong. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre.
So the next question is from Mike Aaron, all the way from America. Hey Mike, how are you doing? Thanks for keeping on supporting Omega Luke. Your question was, Vince McMahon is finally retiring, hopefully soon, and Triple H is taking over the main roster. But who takes over NXT in Triple H's place? I am going to go for the one and only Shawn Michaels, because he's currently working down in the Performance Center now, and I'd put the second-hand man with Matt Bloom, who is also down there and has been for a long time now, and I think those two would be in safe hands. NXT would still be as amazing as it is every week. Come on then, Mace, who you having taken over NXT when Triple H departs?
I'm in agreement with Omega Luke, but I would have Matt Bloom running the ship and Shawn Michaels under Matt Bloom. Boom.
Can't argue with that.
I agree with Omega Luke. I'd have Matt Bloom and Shawn Michaels.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. Crank it up, baby. Burn it down!
Okay, so the next question came in from View from the Top Rope. Hey guys, how are you doing? And that question was, if we had access to Doctor Who's TARDIS and we could go back and watch any event of wrestling live, what would it be? And if we could go back and change an event/angle that's happened in the past, make it better, what would that be as well? The event I'd go back to would probably be WrestleMania 17, because of the TLC match as well as the main event, The Rock and Stone Cold. That would be amazing. But the event and angle that I would change after would be very soon after, and that of course is the Invasion angle, because that stank and that could have been amazing. So those are my two picks. Right, Mace, you're in your Doctor Who TARDIS. What event are you going to?
I'm going back to WrestleMania 6. Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. And the thing I would change would be not necessarily Undertaker losing the streak, but the guy that beat it. I would have had CM Punk beat it, because he would have been the guy to carry it.
Oh, that's a great shout. I like that one.
I'm going to go for my favourite match of all time. I'm going to go to WrestleMania 18, and it's going to be The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. Two of my all-time favourites. Getting to see that live would be an absolute dream. I would go back and change the whole Invasion angle, and I would make sure some of the top stars was there, which I'm going to get to do in my next fantasy booking league, so make sure you check it out.
So the event I'd go back and see is WrestleMania 17, and the event I would change would be, I would have Wade Barrett win the World Heavyweight title.
They don't want that. No, they don't want that.
The thing is, I was...
They don't want that.
Literally thought you were doing. Yeah.
Formerly known as MH. Delete! Okay, so the next question is more of a challenge more than anything. It is the wrestling name game. I will name a wrestler. The person to my right, Mason, will then name a wrestler whose first name begins with the surname of the wrestler I named, and so on and so forth. This is about the fourth take, and I've finally got it right. Okay, so my first wrestler, I am going to go for Cody Rhodes.
Randy Orton.
You fucking did who?
What did?
Fuck me then.
The first thing, I don't know why, I just thought Rapunzel. It's like a wrestler. Sorry. I thought, fuck it. I'm sorry. Rapunzel.
Oh, fuck. So the next question is, if you are your favourite podcaster's favourite podcast, what is your favourite podcast? Other than Wilfred Watches podcast, who I love very dearly and is a great podcast, I'm going to have to go with Hey, it's Comrade Thompson and you're listening to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, who we're going to go see live today.
Hi, I'm Bruce Pritchard. This is Conrad Thompson.
And you're listening to the Omega Luke podcast.
My favourite podcast, other than obviously Omega Luke, is the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins.
So my favourite would be Talk Is Jericho, because he's the best in the world at what he does.
So Mason, what is your favourite wrestling podcast?
Has to be Omega Luke.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
The king of kings. Louder. On your knees, dog. Too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say.
Bow down to the king.
What the fuck are you doing?
Kenny Omega eats this shit.
Doesn't mean you're gonna get better in the ring.
That's a reason to believe.
The next question comes from my good friend in America, Wilfred, my bestie of podcast, and his question was, what are you laughing at?
My bestie podcast.
It is.
I just laughed.
We're besties. So this question is, what would I do for a podcast if the wrestling industry ended tomorrow? After I thought about it a little bit, I did originally think maybe I would do something to do with football, but I think I would get into comic books a lot more. I've got so many comic books that are unread and I really want to read them eventually, and I like talking about comic books and I like talking about comic book stories, so that would probably be something I would do if the wrestling industry stopped to exist tomorrow. This next question comes from Josh and Stu Wrestling Podcast. Thank you very much, Josh and Stu, and it is as follows. What is my favourite booking so far of the Fantasy Booking League? There has been some amazing bookings from everyone, really, especially the guys in this car, but I'm going to have to go with probably Royal Rumble's debut as they fantasy booked HBK Shawn Michaels. I really like what they did with R-Truth, and I really liked how they used the two-man job, one doing the promo while the other one describing the story. I thought that was really clever from them. And that's your next opponents, Josh and Stu, so you better watch out.
My favourite episode of the Fantasy Booking League is actually Mason Adams versus Booker T for the AJ Styles heel turn. Purely and solely responsible of that is Mason Adams' booking. He's been absolutely smashing it up in the league, knows what he's talking about, and I think one day me versus him could be quite the show. So I'm going to go with that one.
Mason Adams, the first finalist of the Fantasy Booking League. What has been your favourite fantasy booking so far?
So, I'm returning the favour to my good man Nev. His Finn Balor booking was quality. And like I said on my episode, if you can get the image in your head over audio, then you're doing something right. And his booking was pure class, and he deserved the win, not the draw. So unlucky dog.
So my favourite booking from the Fantasy Booking League is mine of Elias, the one I actually beat you with, Josh and Stu.
Yes, I do.
Of course, MAFF Math picked his own booking. Were any of you surprised?
Are you most looking forward to tonight, mate?
Cody Rhodes all day, mate. I'm pretty buzzing to see my fellow, well, I'm not even a Scouser, but I'm going to say my fellow Scouser because I'm a Liverpool fan, Zack Gibson. That should be fucking quality. Liverpool's number one.
Go on, show us.
Fucking sauce down what's there. Fucking everywhere.
What does that say, Nev?
Sums it up about Brock Lesnar. 10% off Mark Price, missing belt. This is the most accurate figure I've ever seen. This guy.
Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. I will defend. I never wanna hear you say I wanted that away. Tell me why they remove it. I send chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy.
So we did a little show in September called All In. And it absolutely wouldn't have been possible without Big C Money, without Conrad and what he did with Stargate. So yeah. I can come in any kind of weather. That's because my sack is made of leather. I'm so happy, I'm so gay, I can come every day. I'm your mailman. That was for the mailman in there.
I hear you do a pretty good Dusty Rhodes impression. But I've been told Paul Heyman does a better. So,
Where's Paul Heyman?
I need you to settle it for me. I gotta hear it myself. You guys want to hear it, right? I gotta hear it myself.
Listen up, kid. I remember there was a time when you was residing deep in my loins. And I created you, if you will. You know how much I love Shelly, and we get on funky. And it's all that love, baby, because I do know how to get funky like a monkey, if you will. My baby tonight. You know my baby's got me wrapped around her little finger. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. Crystal, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much.
I see clearly everything has come to life. Fucking Godfather in it, mate. Pimpin' ain't easy.
The pimp himself.
Pimpin' ain't easy.
Tippin' it easy, man.
This is Flip Gordon, and you need to subscribe to Omega Luke Podcast.
Subscribe to Omega Luke Wrestling Podcast. Nailed it.
That is it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video of our journey to Fight Forever Wrestling. It was an amazing day. As you can see, we answered all your questions. We thoroughly enjoyed doing it, and hopefully we're going to do plenty more in the new year. Maybe go to a Progress show. I'll be really interested in doing that. Meet TK Cooper, meet Travis Banks, Chuck Mambo, all those guys. So thank you all for sending your questions in. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like on it and hit the subscribe button. Do exactly what Cody Rhodes and Flip Gordon told you to do. Subscribe for more and keep listening to the podcast as much as you can. I thank you very much. That's all from me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
What's up, IMLP, and you are listening to Wrestling Luke Omega Podcast. Maybe, I think I fucked it up, but anyways, you should subscribe.